Hello and welcome. Today on the show, all hail the king. We are going to be tasting Burger King's Zesty sauce. We are so glad that you came here today and joined us. Please stick around. It's going to be a fun one. This is Sauce Spoken.
And we're back. This is Sauce Spoken. We are three sauce-stronauts orbiting the luscious, juicy planet with three delectable moons, Saucio, Dipius, and Condimenti. Thanks for joining us this week. My name is Adam. I'm joined here today with my co-host, Tori.
Major Adam, come in. Major Adam. Astronaut Tori reporting. We're really happy to have you tonight. Thank you for listening.
And I'm here as well. This is Eric. Thanks
for
the handoff there,
like
Astronaut
that.
Tori.
No rolling at all. I do like that. That's fun.
All good. So
E-splash down already. That's
Oh yeah, I left the International Space Station.
You're in the pod.
The International Taste Station.
Much like that one movie, E's life has been. Oh, I don't know where I'm going with this. Never mind. Cut that.
Apollo 13.
No, I was talking about that one movie where it's got
Alien.
No.
Odyssey.
The one with
There's a lot of space movies.
I'm just rattling space movies.
No, it's the one where it's got the young girl and the dad goes away on a space mission and it's Matthew McConaughey. Interstellar. It's Interstellar. That's what I was thinking of. And I was going to say that E's life has been like living on that planet where time goes more slowly because he's aged beyond his years. I was trying to make a really long stretch. I couldn't quite pull it together, though, in time. So
well, you really hammered it.
I'm going to leave this in now. So
good.
Now that we brought it back around. Now that everyone's cheering for my genius joke. So
I can hear them.
The crowd of one.
Yeah, we took a moment to hear the crickets there, to hear the fuzz in our earphones, in our headphones.
There's a whole crowd in there. That's not just one.
So, Tori, how you doing this week? Pretty good?
All things, yeah. Can't complain. Doing pretty good. I got to try a brand new sauce this evening. Well, I mean, I guess to me, most of these sauces are new, but particularly excited about this one. I heard tremendous things.
Yeah, I'm the one that said tremendous things because neither one of you guys have tried this sauce tonight.
That is correct. This is a new one on me as well.
The expansion of horizons.
Aside from the sauce, E, anything new in your life this week? How's your dating life going? Anything interesting there?
No, that the dating life is very much a mute point for right now. That's all right. Moot.
No, I didn't like the mute button on your television program.
M-O-O-T.
More like I'm thinking of moat. My bad.
This is actually something I have a fun little bit of trivia on, which I know you guys always love when I have my fun little bits of trivia.
Oh boy.
So, did you guys read Lord of the Rings?
No.
Really?
No, I didn't see that.
Okay, I'm actually surprised. I was baffled. I was waiting for you to say yes, and I was just going to roll right into my thing. But anyways, well, now I'm going to have to start from ground zero here.
Oh, boy, good.
Because in Lord of the Rings, there's a point... Well, you remember the tree ents, right?
Yes.
Which is also where marijuana enthusiasts come from. They call those people ents because they're fans of trees, which on certain websites... Okay, this is another really long stretch joke. Well, in any case... Getting back to my Lord of the Rings point, the point is that they call trees, they call that weed, that's like weed, that's supposed to be an analog to weed, and it's supposed to be like this big inside joke. So people who like weed are called Ents because they like trees, which is weed, so...
I did not know that.
But anyways, no, that's not even... That's totally getting off my little fun bit of trivia. That was a freebie bit of trivia,
I wonder
if you
people
would.
just read into things and just see what they want to see sometimes.
Well,
but
sometimes these things develop naturally, and when you try to explain it in 10 seconds, talking way too quickly on a podcast, it doesn't really come off very well. But I'll go back to my original point, which was the moot point. In Lord of the Rings, at one time, they talked to these tree ents, which are these giant, tree creatures, and the hobbits... They carry the hobbits with them to a meeting of the trees, which I believe is called a moot, which is not a word that...
Not a forest. That's what I call meeting of trees.
Right. Well, they're ents, though. They're not just trees.
Okay.
But the gist of it is that I thought that was a word that Tolkien made up. It is not. A moot is an old word essentially just for like a meeting where you discuss things. And if you were bringing something to talk at the moot, you would have a moot point, which is where that term comes from. However,
but doesn't it mean the opposite of that?
Exactly. It's been corrupted through time to mean exactly the opposite. Now it means a point that is not worth discussing, which is it's one of those, there's a word for that too, things that mean the opposite of what they are supposed to mean or something like that. You guys can send us a comment or let us know what that phrase is I'm looking for there. But yeah, the gist of it is that it's been kind of transformed from what it used to mean, being a point that is up for discussion, and has come to mean the opposite, which is a point that is not up for discussion.
Interesting.
And people often misinterpret that as mute point. If they've never seen it written, they only have heard it. And
myself.
No volume.
They attribute it to that because they would say if someone's mute, they can't speak. And if it's a mute point, then it's a point that can't be said. That's how that gets turned around. So there's your little bit of fun trivia for the day.
Well, I'll be darned.
Someone will fact check this for us and blast me as usual.
No, it sounds like the wonderful dictionary.com word diction, like delves into like different words or different meanings of
word of the
words. Day. Well, there's word of the
Etymology.
Day. They also just do little stories.
Oh,
like what you just did.
Are they anywhere near as convoluted as mine was?
Just about, yeah.
Okay, very good.
Short story, maybe a riddle.
Maybe sometimes.
Okay.
So I like how you conveniently got out of answering the question about your dating life. How's that going?
Yeah, well, that part of it is just not. I've been working a lot, though. Been really busy at work. Putting in some extra overtime. Been trying to... daylight savings just happened, so...
You're still reeling, huh?
A
week later.
Honestly, not that bad, but...
Yeah. What else is new in your life, E?
I got new teeth today. No, I shouldn't say new teeth. I got my front teeth repaired. A little bit of...
Oh, you actually did get something done to your teeth?
I did. My
front... Oh, I thought that was a joke.
No, my front
What was wrong with your teeth?
My front teeth were chipped up a little bit. I was enjoying a delicious meal that had some really good sauce on it, and I just bit down a little too hard on that spoon on accident.
When was this?
I chipped my tooth about 2 weeks ago. No, maybe it was about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. I went to the dentist. Dentist said he didn't have time to repair it then and there as I come back. So
did you know about this story?
Yeah, we made the joke about it. Yeah, you talked about going to the dentist.
Oh, I just totally ignored it.
Yeah, we had this whole diatribe about, Dr. George and... I made the joke about Dr. Isaac Yankum, DDS. He's a good doctor.
Somehow I remember that discussion. I don't remember talking about he's having a chipped tooth.
Yeah, my front tooth was chipped.
I actually have a little bit of a chip in my tooth as well.
Yeah, now it looks good. My the doctor did it up in, I don't know, probably 15 minutes. Used dental acrylic and some UV cure, and bam, ready to go.
Nice.
It looks decent. I asked him how durable they were, and he said that they really aren't. I should be careful as to what I'm biting into.
Don't bite any more spoons.
Yeah, don't bite on spoons.
What were you eating, E?
What was I eating? It was a Thai, like a Taiwanese dish. It was very good. It was like a curry. It was Asian Thai curry. Sweet Thai basil or something like that.
I feel like you're being kind of evasive about this. What was it, E?
I really don't know what it is. I mean, it's sad because I really enjoy it.
Tori, what's new in your life? Anything good?
Yeah. Oh, boy.
Aside from the sauce?
Let's see here. No, I mean, very similar to E's story. Been really busy at work.
Yeah, this is your season.
The throes. Yeah, very much in the throes of the busy season. It's getting a little wild. Yeah, my little kitten, he's still really good. Yeah, he's orange. And
perfect little angel.
Oh, yeah, he's so good.
The shoulder loaf. I like that a lot.
Oh, yeah, he's up on my shoulder a lot. He just helps himself. He climbs right up and sits down. And
I think that's less common where they fold their paws in, though, because normally they're holding on with the claws. So that's why I thought that was a particularly rare picture of the cat. It's rare to get a shoulder cat and a cat loaf in the same picture.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he's getting pretty good. He first started climbing up my shoulder. I would jostle my upper body, in such a way to sort of simulate walking. Just to get him
train him.
Exactly, yeah. Just get him used to it.
Clever.
No fear of injury, He's not falling from whatever.
Right.
And
so maybe this was a testament to the size of your shoulders.
Possibly.
Broad-shouldered.
Possibly, maybe. He seems to like it a lot. He's like a little parrot. It's cute as heck. I love him. Love him to death.
He is a cutie.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're still working from home. Had some pretty nice weather recently, of course. We have to bring that up. Yeah, it's been really pleasant. Recently had a really nice Halloween.
A blue moon on Halloween.
Yeah, right.
That's right.
Did you go outside and do any kind of devil worship on the blue moon for Halloween?
Celebrating All Saints Day and Reformation Day.
Okay, yeah. Very good.
But yeah, outside of that, no.
Eric and I actually went to a corn maze.
Very nice.
That was quite fun. I thought we had a good time.
Yeah, I tried to get you lost and leave you there multiple times.
We did. try as much as we could to do the corn maze without the use of flashlights, which was more interesting, I guess.
Honestly, with as bright as the moon was.
Yeah, the blue moon.
Yeah, it was almost.
It was pretty good. I mean, we really could see. They had some kind of lights on from the farm too. Some remember that, like some stadium
incredibly
lighting.
Bright. Yeah.
Was it haunted?
It wasn't, which was kind of disappointing, but we still had fun regardless. There was like a little mini game you could play in the corn maze, which we kind of half played. There was whiskey involved too, so that, our attitude towards game playing of that variety was diminished. But they did have some other interesting side events at the corn maze as well.
Yeah, we got to go on a zip line. That was exciting.
Nice.
It was a straight line zip line. It was like, I don't know, what do you think?
200
6
meters?
feet off the ground, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just a straight line on a farm. I mean, it was cool. It was fun. It was $5. So I think it was we got our money's worth. It was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. It was
long? Real long?
No, it was only like 200 meters. Maybe 250.
Get out of here with your metric.
We talked about that too, the metric thing, didn't we?
Half of a track field.
I need it in football fields. I'm an American.
It's the track field that goes around your football field at your stadium, at your high school,
How many hot dogs is that?
This isn't a metric.
But they had said that the way that they built that was they sunk telephone poles into the ground, which are 30 foot long, and they sunk them up until there was only about, 10 foot sticking out?
Wow.
They sunk those things
maybe
deep.
13. They're deep, yeah.
Deep.
It's pretty crazy.
They also had an area where they had little almost spud guns made of pressurized air that you could shoot tennis balls out of.
Nice.
I got to go out there. Well, I went out there and Adam got the opportunity to shoot at me with some tennis balls.
It was tricky because we were outside and we had to wear masks and we're all glasses wearing boys. So I was fogging up pretty bad, which was fine when I was just shooting at Eric. But
then we got to reverse rolls.
Yeah, we reversed rolls and I went out there. So the catch was the guy would only let you go out there. There was really no one else watching it. So I guess that was part of it, but there was really I don't think the guy had any supervision. I think he was kind of bored, but he kind of cut us a little bit of a deal. He said, I'll let you go out there, but you have to fill the basket up with balls and bring them back. Eric did a pretty good job of filling it up with balls, and then he traded off.
And I caught one.
He caught one. He did. And then I went out there with the basket, and the very first shot that he shot at me, I dumped all the balls on the ground. I was trying to catch it in the basket, and in doing so, dumped all the balls. Plus, I couldn't see when I was out there, and it's terrifying to have something being launched at when you can't see it.
And then he hid behind one of the targets. I managed to nail the skunk instead of nailing him.
I wasn't even intentionally doing that. I was trying to pick up the balls, and that's just where I stood up in the middle of being assaulted. That was pretty cool.
It was fun.
Nice. Good.
We won't say specifically which corn maze because I don't want to get the gentleman working there in trouble, but it was really fun.
Very nice. Well, 'tis the season for corn mazes.
Yeah. That's true. They also had a little tube thing that we could roll ourselves in, which was interesting. How would you describe that? Like a culvert?
Yeah, like large plastic irrigation or culverts, essentially. They were probably 6 foot in diameter? Probably smaller than that. Probably 5
bigger
foot.
than that, because I could stand up in it, I believe.
Could you? I thought I was
I had my boots on, so...
hunched just slightly.
Oh, maybe. Maybe I was hunched. I was falling over a lot, so that may have been part of it.
You were falling over a lot.
Were you drunk?
guys, not that drunk. Slightly. I did what I like to call a whiskachino, where we go and get... actually, I stole a cappuccino unintentionally, because I went in and I went to a gas station. In Ohio, you can buy liquor at gas stations. I bought what I believe is a fifth of Jack Daniels.
Yeah, we had a long discussion on what the heck that was.
We're not alcoholics enough to know what sizes of bottles or alcohol comes in, but the smallest one is a fifth. Does that sound right, Tori?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the small one.
Yeah, the other one's a gallon, a handle.
Yeah, okay, right. Okay, very good.
Yeah.
A fifth, I believe. I paid for that, and then got a cappuccino, and then immediately walked out the door, sat down in the car, looked at the cappuccino, and thought, fuck, I forgot to pay for the cappuccino. So I had to walk back in and pay for that, which was awkward. And then I poured some of the whiskey into the cappuccino. That's a whiskachino.
It was Jack Daniels, in case you were wondering.
I said that, didn't I?
No.
Jack Daniels?
You just said a whiskey.
No, I said Jack Daniels.
I'm okay.
We'll play it back. But I believe for Halloween, Tori, you went out to a local restaurant.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a really nice time. Really nice meal. We were the last table there. Surprisingly good service with that being the case. I had a couple beers. We knew they were shutting down. The waitress told us.
Were you able to get your premium select beer of choice?
I got some Yingling drafts, which I think is the superior way to drink them. I don't have quite the palate that you guys do. I'm not that refined.
I was thinking maybe you could get Iron City on draft. I don't know.
No. If they got Yuengling on draft, it's lights out. I'm not drinking chocolate beers, but
that is true, Eric. You found actually we both simultaneously. What day did you purchase these beers?
Yesterday, I think. Yeah. Yesterday.
Okay. Yeah, I bought mine on the exact same day. So we both on the exact same day discovered that a local brewery, which we've discussed here before, local-ish, Yuengling, has recently debuted. I think this is
their
a
first
debut,
time.
A collaboration with another Pennsylvania Institute, Hershey's.
Yep.
To develop a Hershey's chocolate porter. Yuengling porter is pretty good on its own. I haven't tried one of these Hershey's chocolate porters yet, and as we discussed, I'm not a huge fan of Hershey's, but I think it could be good.
So did you get a 6-pack or a 12-pack?
I got a 6-pack.
So I bought a 12-pack just because where I went to was either 12s or a whole case.
You drank half of it at the store, right?
On the way home.
Mind you, I'm a whole whopping 100-foot journey there from the beer distributor to my house.
How many did you drink in the car?
I drank quickly. Yeah, I just had one tonight actually though, and it was good. It wasn't. I actually think I like the Yuengling porter better.
Oh really?
The regular porter.
Now it's been a while since I had the regular porter. I'd have to compare and contrast. I think their regular porter is pretty damn good. If I'm not mistaken.
It is good, and it's
you like that one as well, right, Tori?
Never had it.
Oh really?
Nope.
Oh, I thought you said you'd like. Okay, never mind. Maybe that was Eric I was talking about that. I thought you said you'd like that one too.
Nope.
Oh, I thought you had tried one. I thought I brought him over to your house once and just let you try one. Maybe not.
Yeah.
We'll have to all try the Yuengling porter and see how that is.
The regular one or the chocolate one?
The regular one.
Chocolate.
Oh, the chocolate. Okay. Yeah,
I didn't see any of the regular porter there. I just saw the chocolate one. They didn't replace that, did they?
I hope not. Like I said, I think I like the regular one better. I think the traditional Yuengling porter is it's like a light for a porter. It's very.
Wait, did you say you like the original one better?
I do.
Oh, okay, better than the chocolate one.
Better than the chocolate.
Okay, I think I misunderstood you. I think originally I thought you were saying the opposite way. You preferred the chocolate one.
No, I don't know if it didn't help that you were talking about how Hershey's chocolate's like the vomit of chocolates, and then I'm drinking this beer and all I can think of is vomit.
Yeah, we had discussed this. Tori, you were saying you read this somewhere too, but a lot of Europeans describe Hershey's chocolate as having a vomit-like taste, and it's because of the addition of some chemical they have in there that is we're speculating. I don't remember exactly. I
have no idea. I heard the goofiness about the Hershey's chocolate and the vomit-esque taste. I'm not sure if it was preservative or something, but I thought it was so bizarre, and they said it was added in there on purpose. I can't imagine they added it in there for the sole purpose for it to be funky tasting. Has to be some other reason.
I mean, Hershey chocolate syrup is actually, I think it says right on the container that it's a chocolate flavored syrup. Like there is no, they don't even try and hide the fact that it really doesn't have any chocolate in it. I think it's just chocolate flavored.
Well, it's like
syrup.
coconut oil or some bullshit like that. So I pulled this up really quick for us here so we can all take a look at this. And I think we touched on this earlier too, that it's actually not, it's something that's actually in vomit. It's butyric acid. Is that, if that's how you say that?
I think that's how you'd say that.
Sounds good to me.
It's apparently in Hershey's chocolate, vomit, Parmesan cheese, and sour butter. Whatever the fuck sour butter is. Jesus Christ.
It's a process called
lipolysis.
Yeah.
Lipolysis. But apparently they use that to break down fatty acids in the milk, and that's what gives it that vomit-like flavor. So there's another little bit of trivia.
Gives American its tangy flavor. American chocolate, its tangy flavor.
Gives America its tangy flavor.
Yeah, well,
why not?
Speaking of tangy flavors this week, we can roll right in. This is a perfect little segue. We can roll right into the sauce this week. Now, this is one that neither one of you guys has ever experienced before, but I, personally, have been quite a fan of for years. Why don't you lead us off there, E?
So this week, we took a look at Burger King Zesty sauce, which I had no idea was even a sauce. I had no clue at all, apparently. And it's funny because I've been to Burger King quite a bit, and I guess I just never ordered their onion rings or ordered their, what else would these go with?
Well, I think normally these are like a normal part of the onion rings. Like if you order onion rings, they generally offer you this. I don't know that it comes with anything else. Then maybe it was or is still a burger that it comes on.
I mean, I've definitely ordered onion rings before, but they've never offered me this sauce.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, I feel like that's, they always ask me if they want the Zesty sauce, and if they don't, I demand some, because that's pretty much the sole reason I go to Burger King is for onion rings and the Zesty sauce.
You know, it's funny, the sole reason I go to Burger King is for the onion rings on the burger. I like the rodeo burger.
I like that too, actually.
Rodeo burger is one of my favorite fast food
The thing I like about Burger King's onion rings, which we're not reviewing, but I do want to touch on, is that they are kind of like a different texture than a normal onion ring. Like you were saying, normal if you get an onion ring on a burger, there's a tendency to bite in and immediately pull the entire soggy onion out. Whereas I believe the Burger King onion rings are actually like a minced, formed onion, so they're much easier to bite into and not pull the entire onion out.
Yeah, they had to be they're frozen.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah,
they're flash frozen as well. But yeah, it's minced onion that's put into the batter, and then they actually like form the batter into rings and fry them, and then yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I don't know. I'm a big fan of their onion rings, but I've never tried their zesty sauce before. So
yeah, so on that same line there, we got onion rings to try these on, in keeping with our usual note. You know, my failure recently of the Hooters wing sauce, I wanted to make sure that we tried this zesty sauce on the exact item it was intended to be used on. So we sent you on a little trip there, Eric. We gave you a little task to run down to the local Burger King and pick us up some onion rings, which you ruined by putting in the oven.
Ruined by keeping them hot for you.
Right. Yeah. Tori, you want to give us a little bit of a description of what we're looking at sauce-wise there?
Yeah, sure. And you have to really give you some propers for you had your time to shine and you really knocked it out of the park.
You nailed it this time.
With the BK.
Arguably, possibly your first podcast task that you really took the lead on to fruition and really nailed it.
Just slap a big green check mark on it.
With no further instruction. We gave you one thing and you did it perfectly.
Very nice. Yeah, so anywho, this sauce, it has a mustardy, creamy sort of consistency. It tends to stick this side a little bit right off the bat. Got some flecks in it, some red flake, some sort of red flecks, maybe a darker fleck, sort of maybe an orangey yellow, and maybe if I were to compare it to something, I would say Dijon mustard.
Okay, I think in different lighting it is truly orange. I think in this it does look particularly yellow.
Well, it's like a light orange. It's a lot like that chipotle mayo, almost like kind of a color.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
And I actually brought over some packets. We were able to get some fresh packets, which is our preferred. We like to take the sauces fresh. But I don't
ever call these a packet. I call these a dipping cup.
Okay, well, I was getting to that too, because I don't know, because we'll get into that. But what I wanted to mention there as well was that I have an older packet that's, when I say older, it's at most a month older than the ones that we got tonight. And the packaging has actually changed slightly from the newer packets.
I don't know if I'd agree with you. I think you may have a newer packet than possibly, when you go to different Burger Kings, they have different stock, Yeah.
Are they independently franchised like that, like a Subway?
I think they are. Were you around when the one in Southside did the classic, stop paying their franchise fees?
Yeah, I was going to mention that. Do you remember the fake Burger King?
No.
There was one in Southside that they ran for a while as essentially just a fake Burger King. Like they used the Burger King logo, but the franchise had actually dropped to them.
It was crazy.
If you're familiar with franchise businesses, they have to buy all their supplies through the franchise, which in this case would be Burger King. They just stopped doing that. They're going down to the local grocery store getting meat patties and stuff like that. And there's sauces like this, they're making it up in the kitchen as they go along.
Man. Oh, if you're in Burger King's position, you could turn the screws on them poor people if you wanted to.
They did eventually.
They did.
Yeah.
They cracked down on them.
But for, I believe, years, this Burger King operated as a bootleg Burger King out of Southside in Pittsburgh. I think there's actually news stories about it.
Wow.
Like, it was a pretty big deal for a while. I'm surprised. Well, I guess you don't like to go down across the rivers, but
I do damn near every day now. For almost 2 years, yeah.
Now, but this was years ago when this whole bootleg operation
I think they didn't close. I think it was pretty recently they closed down.
I don't remember. I thought it was at least 4 years ago. But I could be wrong.
You could be right. That sounds right. 2016.
Yeah.
Tori, would you like to give us a little visual description on the differences between those two packages there?
Yeah, sure thing. The one I believe came out of your book bag has the Burger King logo in its full glory. We're talking blue, orange, red with the logo, the classic logo we've all seen on the side of the highway stops and whatnot. All the typeface is in brown. Oddly enough, it's all lowercase letters. I feel like I'm on Tumblr reading this, or Reddit, or whatever. The other one, as E said, is all monochromatic, and this has your classic. The ingredients are all in, that bold.
Right.
Uppercase was the word I was looking for. Typeface. They're both an ounce apiece. The one gets a little bit more specific with 28.3, which I thought was a little interesting.
I was wondering what the size of those was. I was guessing probably an ounce. Does the other one we got today, does that say Burger King anywhere on it?
Yeah, up on here in the corner.
Oh, it does? Okay. Make sure that it's not also a bootleg.
Yeah, we don't have
Burger
bootleg a ranch with hot sauces, I thought was another good description.
Oh, okay. For color-wise or taste-wise?
As far as the color and the thickness, consistency, just to paint a picture, red and thick and sort of creamy.
Now, E, what were you calling that? A dipping cup?
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned packet earlier, and a lot of restaurants will still do a actual squeezable, like aluminum, packet.
Right.
This, I would always call this the classic. I think McDonald's probably coined the term first and coined the actual manufacturing of these little sauce dippers, little dipper cups.
Now, I don't know. This is another Pittsburgh thing we can clue people into. People from Pittsburgh, when they have a sunny side up egg, like they like to call that a dippy egg.
That's true.
Tori, would you call this a dippy cup?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think that's probably the best description for it. I can't imagine anything better. Boy, the whole dippy cup. I mean, if you're dipping, it's a dipper's delight. Yeah, hell, I mean, I would, something like this I think would be sort of stupid in one of those aluminum packs like you were mentioning. I mean, hell yeah, if you got something like, if they ask you at the restaurant, if you order onion rings, and this is obligatory with said onion rings, you want to squeeze that out? No, you want to give it a dip. I mean, I think that it's logic. It makes sense.
Have you ever seen the hybrid, the aluminum packet that's actually made into a
Chick-fil-A? Yeah, you can squeeze it or dip.
Or Heinz Ketchup does it as well.
As well as what I was saying.
At McDonald's now, I think they're doing that. The hybrid ones, as you say.
Hybrid, yeah. What the hell's hybrid?
Hybrid. How was it said?
Hybrid.
Hybrid. It's an I. Hybrid, not bread. Hybrid. That's what you said.
That is what I said.
The Honda Hybrid.
Hybrid. But yeah, you get what I was going.
Now introducing new from Honda.
Beaky. The Honda
Beaky. But no, it's just a white, like I said, a white 1 ounce plastic dipping cup with your typical foil top. And I really, truly, I wondered about the Burger King onion rings. I'm not sure if you guys, we're not trying to review the onion rings, but I wonder if you guys noticed this, that onion rings are typically circular. The Burger King ones are almost folded into kind of an oblong.
That was bizarre. Yeah, I noticed.
I wonder if they do that intentionally to make them fit better into dipping into the sauce container, or if it's just laziness in manufacturing.
I would venture it's just laziness of manufacturing. I think it's actually it's a product of having not an actual ring of onion in there. It just tends to collapse on itself when it's being deep fried.
But it does serve both purposes, better. You would not be able to one of those big classic beer battered onion rings. There's no way in hell you would fit that into one of these packets.
Good point.
That's true. So a lucky accident on their part, I guess.
Necessity is the mother of invention, they say. I need sauce on this onion ring. There's your necessity.
But if you were one of those bigger onion rings, you might be better off with the traditional foil packet. It might be better to squeeze it out of that.
I suppose you make a point. Good point there.
Absolutely.
I don't think anything of that production value has ever come out of Burger King, though. Have you guys had their tacos? I saw a big thing about that on the internet a while ago.
No.
That sounds terrible.
Yeah, I heard they weren't good, but okay, let's get away from talking about Burger King. That's not our goal here.
We're the review bra.
Yeah. But what were your kind of like initial takes on the sauce there, E? I know, like I said, I want to kind of hold back because I'm very biased on this. This has been something I've enjoyed for years.
We seem to be enjoying trying sauces that you particularly seem to enjoy.
It might be a result of who's choosing the sauces.
It's funny. I mean, I don't want to say that you were influencing my initial assessment of it, but you said that it had a vinegar up front, and so then it led me to give it a good sniff, and it absolutely smelled like vinegar. And
well, actually, that was a page I took out of Tori's book. He is frequently the guy that is sniffing the sauces in advance, and he's, as we've noted before,
that is correct.
He's picked up on some notes that I've entirely missed, so I'm taking a page out of his book.
Well, taste and smell are very, intertwined. It's very important to have both going on. So,
can I interject really quick? I gotta cut you the fuck off because I want to back up a second about your comment about we only try sauces that I like.
That was my comment.
That was his comment.
Tori, I'm directing that to you. Even though I was looking at Eric, I was directing that to you, Tori. I want to go back to that for a second because that Hooters wing sauce from the other week that you guys, Eric actually slipped it into my aforementioned book bag.
That was terrible.
So I took it home, and I knew it was in there, but I failed to get it out in time. So actually, last week I dug it out. I was looking at it thinking, God, what the fuck am I going to do with this sauce?
Oh, no.
I was looking at it, and I'm thinking, ding, I have an idea. Let me check this label and pray to God that it says somewhere on there, refrigerate after opening, so I have an excuse to throw it away. Because it had sat in my book bag for a week.
It's horrible. You'll never touch it again.
Thankfully, it did indeed say refrigerate after opening, and I was able to throw it. I think this may have been the first sauce. Despite all our jokes about throwing sauces in the trash can, this may have been the first sauce I legitimately took home and threw directly into the trash can.
Wow. That was really bad sauce.
Tremendous vote of confidence for Hooters wing sauce if we haven't beat that horse to death a million times.
I just didn't want to forget that. But that was kind of in that. Certainly, that was a sauce I wanted to try, but it was certainly not a sauce that I enjoyed. So, in my defense,
fair enough.
So the whole thing, container and all, in the trash.
Oh,
didn't even open it up.
No, I didn't. They didn't want to smell it after it had been sitting aging in my backpack for a week. That was the last thing. I didn't have any. There was nothing good about it when we tried it initially. It could not possibly have it improved with aging outside of a refrigerator.
That's beyond gross, dude. I was really concerned for you because I thought with this nice weather, I thought you were going to say you left your book bag in your Jeep and you had a greasy mess all over the inside. That's what I was expecting. Thank goodness. I mean, that was the best outcome possible. You threw it away. Right. I couldn't imagine a better outcome for that. I
do have another story related to that too. One time, my dad has a habit of pawning stuff off of me when I go to visit him. One time, it was the middle of summer, and I was cleaning out my Jeep, and I discovered in those little map pockets on the back of the seats, the driver's seat, usually the little ones in the back. I was cleaning out the Jeep, and I was grabbing some stuff out of there, and I pulled out an empty bottle of wine.
Uh-oh.
Wow. How'd you get a whole bottle of wine in those? Those are, like you said, they're like a map pocket.
Well, mine's roomier.
Okay.
But the interesting thing was, as I was pulling this bottle of wine out, I looked at it and I realized, because I thought, why would I ever possibly, put an empty wine? I wasn't drinking in the back there, and no one else would have been either. So I thought that was strange on its own. But when I pulled it out, I realized that the wrapper and the cork were still in the bottle, but the bottle was empty. Somehow, and I felt down. I thought, oh God, the bottle broke somehow or leaked through the cork. All this wine spilled in my car. Nary a drop. I found one tiny little red stain, almost invisible. So somehow this bottle managed to, I assume through evaporation through the cork, the heating and cooling process in my car, leached all the water out of this bottle without leaving any red, and it was red wine, without leaving any red wine stains visible in my car. And I had this completely empty wine bottle. I almost felt like it was like a trick bottle or something.
Yeah, pretty bizarre.
But
you're pretty good at making wine bottles disappear every once in a while.
With the cork in them from the factory?
David Copperfield of the drinking world, whatever.
So it was sealed too. You say the top was even
it was sealed with foil. So it wasn't something like someone had taken the cork out and put it back in.
Yeah, you need somewhere to put the cork after you put down your bottle of wine. You pop it back in.
That's what I thought he was talking about.
Yeah, that's what I was envisioning.
No.
Pushed into it. No, he's saying it was just
sealed. Factory sealed. And I did find inside the bottle there was a little like glob of kind of like a purplish stain. And I assume that was the solids from the wine after the water and alcohol had evaporated out. I'd never seen anything like that before.
Now, your dad's into automotive repair, right?
Yeah.
And he's done some electrical work over the years.
He does a little bit of everything, yeah.
Do you think maybe he just put the cork back in it after he finished the bottle and then shrink the top with some of that heat shrink just to
it was from the factory.
Okay.
And why would he do that?
I don't know. And
I asked him about it afterwards, I think. But like I said, what he was trying to do is he was just trying to slip me a bottle of wine. That's what he was trying to do. He just, knows I like it.
By the time you got to it, how could it have evaporated that much? It was like a really hot summer?
If someone would like to chime in and tell me how this happened, I'd be more than happy to hear any scientific explanation, because I have no idea.
And it was full when he gave it to you?
Presumably. I don't remember ever putting it in there. I assume he has a habit of just like when he wants me to take things and not be able to refuse them, he'll just throw them in my car without my knowledge. Wow. I'm assuming that's what he did.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay.
Disappearing wine.
Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, getting back to the sauce area, I rudely interrupted you earlier. You were describing it, some of your first tasting notes.
Oh, yeah. It said it smelled of vinegar, And what did I say? It was funny, actually. I was remembering, I think we might have had this discussion earlier on a podcast about creating a creamy vinegar sauce.
Well, I hadn't said creamy.
Thick vinegar.
Yeah, thick vinegar, not creamy.
So, essentially, after I tried the sauce, I thought it actually tasted like a creamy, slightly zesty vinegar sauce. And hey, it's zesty sauce after all.
Slightly zesty.
It had a little zing to it, I guess, and maybe a touch of horseradish, and it's different. I can't say I really liked it, but
really?
It was different.
Tori, why don't you hit us with some of your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked it. It was okay. It smelled. I thought it smelled like Easter egg dye. Remember?
Yeah, that is very accurate.
Yeah.
You know what? I think you hit the nail on which is largely vinegar based, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In the little tablets. But yeah, that was the first thing I got. It smelled like Easter egg dye to me, which is a very fond memory for me. So, that was a nice thing. It's of course, with yellow and orange we talked about. I certainly got a spice from it. I absolutely got a spice from it, and it lingered for a little while, a couple of minutes after the fact. Certainly more so than that Hooters sauce. I thought it was a bit horseradishy, and I thought it was a bit mustardy all at once.
Okay.
Mustard. No, I didn't catch that.
No?
Note. No.
And maybe I'm mixing up with the horseradish a little bit, but honest to goodness, I thought it was good, not great. If I were to go to Burger King, I don't think I would order anything that would require or even suggest zesty sauce. I like a Whopper with cheese, large fry, Dr. Pepper, Sprite, whatever. Maybe a milkshake. But yeah, I'd just say good, not great. I think they had tried to do too many things at once. Did them maybe a skosh above average, but not anything that I would particularly go bananas for in any one way or the other.
You're vindicated, Tori.
In what way?
I pulled up for the listeners. There's a famous website that does copycat sauces for restaurant sauces, and they give approximations of the recipes. I pulled up this is not an official capacity at all, but I pulled up copycat recipe for us to kind of scope out some of the ingredients that they may have used.
And essentially, the fourth ingredient down the list is mustard.
A prepared mustard.
Yeah, they have listed on here mayo, horseradish, cayenne, mustard, vinegar, lemon juice, and then your usual salt, sugar, ketchup, soy sauce, which all is about, I think that seems about right. Probably, I have made this before as a copycat, and actually a pretty suitable copycat right off the shelf is, if we want to throw back to episode 1, Ray's Secret Sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's Secret Sauce, is actually, I would say it's less zesty.
No question.
Hits less hard on the horseradish, but the overall tone, overall flavor is pretty damn reminiscent of the zesty sauce.
Even the color, if I remember. The color, the little red flakes in it, I think...
yeah, exactly.
Very, very similar.
I wouldn't particularly... I don't make the connection to Burger King as being somewhere that is particularly sauce-rich.
Right.
I envision a Red Robin. I envision... I can't...
Even an Arby's has more of a
Even
sauce.
an Arby's. Yeah,
right.
it has more of a sauce. Maybe, and I am a bit removed from advertising, and I think I don't have cable television, so I don't see a whole lot of advertising, probably less than the average person. But it's not. I wouldn't make that connection necessarily to Burger King being a sauce-rich franchise, somewhere where you can go in and get something more maybe than a ketchup or a mustard on the side. Well,
I think you're absolutely correct about that. And actually, to that point, I think Burger King's harken back from a day when restaurants didn't have to try as hard, like kind of the shtick was, hey, look at this. Their 40s accent. Hey, look at this thing we made. We call it a hamburger, see?
You can get it in 35 seconds.
Get it in 35 seconds. Over 100,000
for a nickel
100,000 served. That was kind of the idea, was that they didn't really have to put a whole lot of effort in there because fat, stupid Americans are going to go get their cheeseburgers and they didn't have to try. And then with, millennials and the hipster movement, they're kind of demanding more of these, like, hoity-toity custom aiolis and shit. We've discussed before with the sriracha bullshit.
That's your shtick.
Right.
The wild style harkens back again.
But I do think a hipper restaurant like a Red Robin is catering more to that demographic than like a Burger King is. I think they're trying, to capture more of that crowd with those interesting sauces.
Here we are. A couple of dudes in that age group that you're talking about it right now, so it'd be a little meta on you.
But isn't Red Robin been around? for, decades.
But they've evolved more with the trends.
Okay,
that's what I'm
saying.
With
that, I guess. But that's what I wonder.
They're newer though.
How long back have they been doing their sauces and their variety of sauces?
Right.
That's all I'm wondering. Even like KFC. You think of KFC is definitely a sauce-centric kind of place because they have all that fried chicken. They've always had a good lineup of sauces.
Name me a KFC sauce.
They have a honey mustard and a barbecue. I know for a fact.
I think those are pretty standard fare though, right?
There's nothing at a chicken place. Yeah.
There's no the cane sauce, or there's no Chick-fil-A sauce. They don't have a signature sauce though, right? There's no KFC sauce like an Arby's sauce.
I suppose not.
Is this Burger King signature sauce?
Well, that was kind of what I was getting at, was that a lot of those older restaurants, I think they had kind of like a little bit of a signature flair. Like, McDonald's had the Big Mac. That was kind of like their thing. And I think Burger King, back in the day, I think zesty sauce and onion rings was like one of their things. I think it's kind of fallen off the grid now. People tend to think more of the Whopper than they do the onion rings.
Yeah.
But I think back in the day, we could ask our parents, but I have no way of knowing personally, but I would have to imagine that was more of a thing, because this is such a, like you said, it's so outside their normal lineup. Why would they go through the effort to develop this sauce when they don't have a whole line of other sauces, which is kind of the typical thing now?
So you're suggesting that they're holding on to maybe a relic?
Yeah.
Or this zesty sauce is proof of the evolution that Red Robin has excelled so much at?
I think that they're holding on to a relic. And possibly, as he mentioned, some of these things may be literal relics because we don't know how old these sauce packets are.
That's true. It's an interesting sauce, that's for sure. And I think it's going to be widely... And I can see the wide popularity of it. The ingredients being very...
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Pretty mainstream.
Right.
Hitting on some pretty obvious winners for whatever you like. There's just too much of it. Too many of them. Stick to one, stick to one, stick to what you're good at.
I actually disagree. I think, to me, this is, a pretty simple sauce. I think there's two primary components, mayonnaise and horseradish. I think all the rest of this stuff is just kind of additives for color and a little bit extra flavor. Like, I definitely get some cayenne, a little bit of the heat kick in there, very little. I think they get a lot of like the mustard and the ketchup for color reasons, honestly. I don't think you're getting a whole lot more than that. I think they're just trying to get that pleasant orange color that I like.
Natural.
Right.
Definitely.
Definitely a color that occurs in nature frequently, a creamy orange color.
For sure.
And I think the rest of it, that's just kind of like bonus there. I think really what you're tasting, I think, is primarily, far and away, like a horseradish that was cured canned in vinegar, mixed in with a mayonnaise. I think that's, if you can close your eyes, I think that's what you would really taste. I actually really like this sauce. I do get a little bit of some of the other flavors that come through. I've made copycats of this. I've tried, like I said, the Ray's Secret Sauce, other kind of branded copycats, if you would. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of the sauce. This, to me, is one of the main reasons to go to Burger King.
Interesting. Yeah, I would go to Burger King for a Whopper, no question about it, before anything else.
Actually, growing up, I even liked the original chicken sandwich. That breaded, extra greasy, long sub-like sandwich. It's tons and
the
tons
shape
of
is
salt.
Interesting.
Maybe a little schleck of mayonnaise.
Yeah, well, I think they load that thing with mayonnaise.
Yeah.
Now, actually, I'm much more of a fan of the Wendy's spicy chicken sandwich than the Burger King one, but it is an interesting shape at the Burger King. Kind of coming off what you were saying there, E, about maybe those sauce dippers, the dippy cups, are a little bit older than you're questioning their age. I found an article that I kind of want to share with you guys. It's from last year. It's from November of 2019, but it's about how Burger King is running out of zesty sauce. The gist of the... Go ahead there, Tori.
I can just tell that we are on the precipice of some real hard-hitting journalism here, and I am just excited as hell to sink my teeth into this, I'm sure, Pulitzer Prize quality article.
Well, we don't have to go too deep into it. The gist of it is that there was a severe weather storm, and it caused a shortage of the horseradish, and being that's a primary component of this sauce, they're having some trouble sourcing it, I guess.
Horseradish grows like a weed.
Yeah, really, I'm surprised it'd be that hard for them to source.
Yeah, you famously are someone that likes to grow horseradish, Tori, and you seem to, like you said, you really
You can't
How do
kill
you
it.
stop it?
Yeah, you can't get rid of it. It almost becomes a nuisance.
Interesting enough, though, your comment there made me look a little closer at these packets. The one that you brought, Adam, is says Zesty Burger King sauce, copyright 2015 Burger King Corporation.
Okay.
The ones that I got tonight say copyright 2019. I wonder if there wasn't a
change, a formula change. That's interesting. Can you? We'll fast forward through this for the listeners, but can you actually give us a breakdown, like a comparison of those two ingredients, like see if there's any major differences there?
Oh, yeah, put on my speed reading here. So we got water, bread, horseradish, vinegar, salt.
You say water, bread, horseradish?
Yeah. High bread.
Oh, high bread.
Corn syrup.
Certainly not low bread.
Right.
Vinegar, tomato paste.
Is there any high bird, though?
All the birds are high. They're flying.
Perfect. Very good.
Actually, it does
still
look
the
like
first word.
the new one. The new one looks to be containing 2% less of salt, vinegar, spice, natural flavors, including mustard. So it calls mustard out on it.
Okay.
And this one does not say that. The older one says spice, xanthan gum, lemon juice, concentrate, beet powder, natural flavors. Doesn't say anything about mustard, so that's interesting.
So if they changed the copyright in 2019, I'm assuming that mine is particularly old because presumably they've had it for... Now, there may take some time to roll changes out, like they may have changed the copyright in 2019, and they're just now getting around to releasing the new sauce containers, but it does make me wonder how old that one I have actually is.
Yeah, it does.
And this kind of thing really has no expiration on it, I don't think, but...
No expirations I could find.
Speaking of expirations, have you guys ever seen the internet meme about the cursed bottle of ranch that's entirely black? Have you ever seen that?
No.
I'll pull it up for you here.
Oh boy. Is it a cursed picture? Is that what they call that?
Is this the idea that the ranch has just been around that long that it's turned black?
Yeah, so as you're seeing on the screen here, it's the meme is it's a bottle of ranch that's entirely black and expired in April of 99.
Ew.
And then the idea is this is supposed to be that it's insinuating that the white sauce turned black with age, but I think that the bottle itself is actually black.
That's crazy.
Oh, wow.
If I remember, we'll throw that up on something for the listeners if we can. So,
wow.
Or I like the idea that maybe it was just filled with some other sauce on accident, not ranch, like a factory error, you know?
No,
molasses.
What black molasses. Sauce are they pumping out of the factory, dude?
It's a raspberry
roller coaster oil, as Tori has previously requested.
Yes.
No, let's. So we've had a lot of sidetracks here. Let's get around to the portion of the show where we start talking about ratings for this sauce. Eric, would you like to lead us off with kind of your initial assessments here?
Certainly. I like this interesting twisted branch there. Anyway, so certainly I would be happy to go with the ratings for this Zesty Burger King sauce. Burger King Zesty sauce. It is, since we're going to do a heat level on it, even though I personally don't think it had any speed.
We had discussed that. There was a debate earlier we had whether or not we need to do a heat level. And I think we kind of settled on yes. I mean, for Christ's sakes, it has more heat level than the fucking Hooters did last week.
There's no question. There's absolutely no doubt about it.
I feel like we're going to have to start doing this for fucking ever. The Wild Side should go back and have a fucking heat rating on it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you open a jar and it says medium or mild, I think there's absolutely an expectation there. When just a hash, we talked about mayonnaise, there's zero expectation for heat with mayonnaise. So I think a 0 was unfair. I think the new 0 should be that Hooters sauce because that advertises some level of heat.
You know what? That's good. That is now soft-spoken lore. That is in our backstory.
Every once in a while.
0 is the Hooters. That's comparable to that.
Yeah. I mean, if you're advertising it, I don't know if the adjective zesty necessarily implies a heat.
No, but it does have cayenne pepper in the ingredients.
Right.
It does. But from an advertising point of view, it's not like Hooters slapping the word milder on basically orange butter.
From my cursory research, it does seem that some journalists consider this to be a spicy sauce. So I think it's fair to give it a spice rating.
Okay.
So
I will give it half a point.
For heat?
Wow. For heat.
Okay, half a point for heat.
Wow.
0.5 out of 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the new 0 being Hooters.
With new 0 being Hooters, which honestly had the same, well, I mean, it had basically the same maybe, because there was some cayenne pepper supposedly in that sauce. We just couldn't taste it or really even see it.
Well, I think that's what the red flecks are. So I think you are seeing it.
I meant even the Hooters one. There was red flecks in that too. Not that we could taste it or get to it.
Yeah, I think the red flakes in that one were microplastics. I don't think there was any actual heat in there. So
good call.
What's your actual rating on the flavor?
My flavor, I'm going to actually put this at a 4.
A 4?
Wow.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Hmm.
I was really excited to do this one. You almost made me do a spit take. I was going to try to drink some fucking water, and you roll up here with a 4. Jesus Christ.
I think I'd prefer ketchup over it. I don't know. I like ketchup more, I think, than...
That's unbelievable to me.
Than this sauce.
You like this less than a ketchup?
I do.
On an onion ring?
Even on an onion ring.
Are you fucking
In fact...
I'm actually mad at you.
You're having like a breakdown.
I'm actually mad at you. I want you to know that.
I would really be good on those onion rings, which I had even. I think the last time I had Burger King onion rings, I brought them home, and I still had some of that sriracha ketchup in my fridge. And those were really good with that sriracha ketchup, so... Yeah.
I'm actually mad at you. I'm not going to speak to you after we're done with this. Jesus Christ.
My.
You like the fucking... Did you say sriracha ketchup? That one I fucking despised?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That really grew on me. I started putting that on everything.
I'm writing you out of my fucking will.
Oh,
I left you $1 in there just so people knew that I didn't want to give you anything. I'm taking that out of my fucking will now.
Stone cold buck.
What happened to the Sir Kensington spicy ketchup? Who has that one?
I think I have it. I have one of them.
I think Tori does. Yeah. I don't think I have it.
The navy blue. I still remember the navy blue.
Right.
That was such a sharp label.
We need to get more of their sauces. I just wanted to kind of put a little bit of a buffer between. We've got such a backlog of sauces, so
we do.
Feel free to suggest, by the way, if you're
absolutely.
Listening. Yeah.
Sure, knock something out. Well, I'll give someone's address out, probably Eric's, and you guys can send stuff there if you want. We'll try it. Tori, you want to hit us with your ratings for this sauce?
Yeah. Said it before, I'll say it again. I thought it was good, not great. I think a 7 for taste is very fitting. I liked it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
I like you better than E now. I liked you better before. I like you even more now better than E.
It certainly wasn't a home run. I think if they would have just maybe stuck to in my opinion, stuck to the horseradish and maybe less spicy and less mustardy, and maybe did more of a variant off of that.
Okay.
I think that would probably be more fitting in terms of the adjective zesty as far as that's concerned, if we're going to,
fair.
Get into that. I wouldn't put a heat. I wouldn't necessarily assume that would be a hot sauce zesty. I don't know. Could be. I mean, it depends on which way you look at it, I suppose. But yeah, so a 7 for taste.
Very good.
Yeah.
What are you, you didn't give us a heat rating.
I did not. No. Okay. And I'm going to say a 4 on the heat.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Very good.
It hung with me for a little while. And, it's not so much that the level of heat was so much, it was the longevity.
Okay.
Yeah. So it hung with me for a while. I had it on an onion ring and a chicken nugget. Pretty substantial dips both. I wouldn't say... I didn't scoop it. I didn't scoop it up by any stretch. So I got a nice coating on the dip, and the heat stuck with me. So to that end, I'm going to give it a 4.
I was curious how it was on the nugget. I have not had it on the nugget.
I would recommend it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, most definitely. I think there's better sauces out there. Obviously, a 7's not a 10, but not bad.
Okay. All right, well, I'll jump right into it here. I'm going to start off with heat because I think that's going to be easier for me. I'm going to go ahead and give it I'm trying to remember what I gave the Hooters. I think I may have even given the Hooters a 2, which we're calling that the new 0, though. And I do think this has more heat than that. I'm going to give it a 1. To me, I think that's pretty fair. I have a very high heat tolerance, and I'm more like getting the horseradish off of this, but I don't get enough horseradish off of this to get me that like sinus tingle, so I'm not even going to give it a heat for that. So I'm going to say 1. Definitely not a 0, though. Definitely more even so than the Hooters. And I mean, I've been pretty clear how I feel about this as far as flavor goes. This is probably, for fast food sauces, this has got to be in my top 5, maybe even my top 3.
Wow.
For restaurant sauces, I love this sauce. And to me, there's lots of imitators, there's lots of copycats, there's lots of similar sauces like we talked about. There's lots of other sauces that even do something not exactly akin to this, but close enough to be lumped in there. Anything with horseradish. Oh, and one thought that's just now occurring to me, probably if you had to actually describe this sauce, I would say, are you guys familiar with remoulade?
No. Rings a bell, but
yeah, I think it's like a Cajun seafood sauce, kind of like, almost like a cross between like a tartar and
a remoulade.
Yeah, remoulade. And I think that's actually, if you had to classify this sauce as something, I think that's actually what it is. And I love remoulade. And I think that's the closest analog to this. Those usually, we'll have to try one of those. But to me, this is the best iteration of this sauce in this particular form. Much better than like the Ray's secret sauces even.
That's what I was going to ask you, is how you compare to Ray's secret sauce.
I think this is zestier, and really the zest and the horseradish kick, that's what does it for me.
I have to just, I think the Ray's, from what I remember, was a lot more horseradish up front than I think this. This is a lot more creamy, I think. But.
Really? Okay. I disagree, but Dory, what do you think about that?
That struck a chord with me. Yeah, I remember the horseradishy up front, the punch.
I thought about I still have that bottle. I thought about bringing it for comparison, but I didn't want to be redoing any sauces, but.
Understandable.
For this thing, I'm going to. So let me clarify that. Like I said, for fast food sauces, this is definitely one of my favorite. For sauces in general, maybe not. But I'm going to go ahead and give this an 8. So I'm not going to give it a 10.
Wow. I know
I ramped it up a lot.
Expecting much more.
In sauces in general, though, there's sauces I like better. Fast food restaurants, I think, generally kind of fall flat on their sauces. They try to go too mild on the approach, I think, for me. So for fast food restaurant sauces in particular, if I was just rating it for those, I'd probably give it a 10. For sauces in general, which is what I'm trying to do, I'm going to say 8. I think that's pretty fair.
Sure.
Because there is a remoulade sauce that I'll have to try with you guys that is, I think, a better version even so of this.
And they would bottle that type of thing?
Absolutely. It's, like I said, it's primarily like a seafood, like a crab cake.
Okay.
You see it a lot on things like crab cakes.
Very nice. Love crab cakes.
Yeah. I mean, so it's very good on that type of thing. Any kind of fried fish, again, they usually go hard on the lemon juice aspect. Like we've discussed before, that acid kind of helps to cut through any of the greasy fried fish or a crab cake that's a little kind of...
Is it spicier, though, too, do you think?
No. They do lean more, I think, on the cayenne and that sort of flavor. It's got more of that Cajun-y type flavor, which is spice, but not necessarily heat, if that makes sense. It is still primarily like a mayonnaise-based type of sauce.
I'm down with trying a remoulade.
It's very good. You probably had it before. You just not know what it was.
Yeah.
A lot of people just think it's orange tartar sauce, but it's quite different if you have it properly made. That's going to kind of wrap it up for our review portion of this sauces. This week, I wanted to introduce a new segment based on some of our previous episodes. I've noticed a bit of a trend. This segment in our show now is going to be called Recipes.
Oh, nice. I see where you're going with this.
I've noticed before that...
I like this.
Oftentimes, Eric likes to regale us with how he would either improve a sauce or what type of food he would like to make to go with this sauce. So Eric wasn't informed of this segment being announced in advance, but I think this is going to be a new regular one on the show here.
I think this one particularly is going to add to the...
Oh, I can definitely...
quality.
Honestly, exactly what you were saying, though, with the...
Well, hold on a second. I want to describe the rules.
Okay.
I would like you to say...
There's rules.
I would like you to give us... walk us through, like, Martha Stewart-esque style, or a simple recipe that our listeners could follow, something that you would either take this sauce and do with the sauce to put it in something, or make an item to go with this sauce that you feel like, say you want to give an onion ring recipe, something like that. So either how you'd improve the sauce, something you would make with the sauce as an ingredient, or an item to go with the sauce. And give us a little bit, you can go approximate on the measurements, but give us a pretty thorough and detailed segment here.
So though you had mentioned that I've never tried a remoulade, I think that's how you say that, sauce, when you're describing it to me, that sounds very similar to what I would be looking for to make this sauce better. Like I would be looking for maybe even some relish that would boost that vinegar in there, and then maybe a little bit of lime juice, but also a little more spice. I would definitely dump chili powder or cayenne powder, maybe a little bit of both, just to really punch that up and give it more color. You give it a deeper, more red color to it, which I think would look better personally. I think the soft orange, as you put it, natural occurring colors are sort of horrific to me.
Reasonable.
And I think putting this on maybe some fresh battered fish would be really good, especially if you add that vinegar punch with a little bit of like extra seasoning. So yeah, I think you could take this as a great base and really, jazz it up. So and pair it up with some fried fish.
All right, if you were making, let's say you want to make an onion ring for this, in as fast as you can, give us a recipe. Give us your custom recipe for onion rings that you haven't prepared.
Custom recipe for
what kind of onion would you select first of all? Start from the basics.
So I would start with just a regular sweet onion, which the Vidalia onion is the best, I think, for eating, for just chomping down on. Cut into a nice 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch wide slices. I like a big slice of onion when I'm making my onion rings.
Good.
And you obviously have your flour and your salt, pepper, and trying to think what else goes into dredging. I've actually never made onion rings before. So.
Say it with confidence. Just make it up. Go for it. Tell the listeners, and someone can make it and tell you how it was. That's what I'm going for. Take a hard stance.
I think there's flour, salt, pepper, maybe some
in equal portions.
What's
the process?
You dredge. Oh yeah, so you dip your onion in some egg, and then you.
Do you slice it first or no?
Yeah, so slice it in half to 3/4 slices.
Okay.
So you're dipping it in the egg first, you said?
Dip it in your egg first, and then you dip it into your flour and salt and pepper mixture, and then you deep fry it.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, very good.
Sounds solid as hell.
How long do you deep fry it? How long do you put it in for?
Until it's nice and brown and crispy.
Give us a minute range. Give us an estimate for the listeners who don't know that. Tell them how long to cook these onion rings for.
Recipes. Welcome to recipes.
I don't know, 2 minutes. I think those would be very dark onion rings.
2 minutes.
All right, very good. So if someone wants to try to make that, maybe do the modifications to the sauce that our resident chef had suggested. Go ahead and whip those onion rings up. Flour onion rings.
Wow.
It's pretty clear you're close, but you never made onion rings before.
I've never made onion rings. I've never deep fried anything really. We actually had that conversation because
I would like someone to try it and make them the way that you described for fun. But typically, I think when you're doing something like that, you might do it in like a raw flour first to kind of dry it out, and then you would actually make a batter. Like if you want to make a beer batter, you could just do something as simple as some flour and some seasonings and just a beer, and to make it a liquid batter like that to dip it in, and that's what kind of gives it that thick outer coating. But yours might be interesting too. I'm trying to picture the egg with just a flour globs on it. Normally you do like a dry flour first, and if you want to do your wet batter or like a bread come afterwards, that the egg is to help that stick. I don't think I think in this case you could just totally eschew the egg and just go straight into the wet dip, but you need to have a dry onion ring to do that first, I think.
Okay.
So that's how you dry it out with the flour and then dip it into the batter and then throw it in there. And I think your 2 minutes was a little bit undercooking it, actually. I think you might even go a little longer than that, like 3 to 5 minutes. But I'd like someone to make it the way you described and see how it goes. That's the fun of this recipe, is that the fun of this segment is that
there's 2 recipes now to use.
Yeah, right? That's the fun of this segment, is I'm putting you on the spot a little bit. And I don't want you to do any research in the future on this.
I think next time you need to give me some advance warning on.
No, it's much more fun.
Recipes.
Because I think it'd be fun for listeners to kind of throw something at us, let us know how it went, their attempt to make your recipe. Although
these onion rings sound like it would be a disaster, but hey, you never know. Yeah, I also like a crisper, crunchier onion ring. I don't like it to be overcooked where it's so soft, anyways.
Right. So maybe go for 20 minutes and see how that
goes. 350-degree oil, I'm imagining.
Yeah, sure. Right. So I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up for this week. That was a fun little segment. I'm glad we added that. I hope that brightens someone's day like it brightened mine today.
You're delighted over it. I can just tell from here.
I think you'll actually like that.
There's a good story about deep frying, though, that Adam made some sauerkraut balls.
Oh, very good. I actually stole Tori's thunder because I was told at one point that Tori was not allowed to make sauerkraut balls, but I've been craving those things ever since he made them. So
we're coming up on the time of year, my man.
I know. I had to make actually last week we went over to one of Eric's friends and I made a little copycat recipe just because I was craving those.
Nice.
And you deep fried them to a really nice crispy outer shell on them.
It was more than 3 to 5 minutes. I think they were in there for a bit.
Yeah. I mean, they're dense, but I'm sure you did it in such a way where everything was already cooked, so the frying was just to crisp it.
That's correct.
Yeah.
They were really good.
Thanks.
Then he gave them to me, and I had dinner
and you
for
actually made
3 days after that.
They're nice,
and you actually made one of your famous famous dog sauce to go with them, which was also quite the hit.
I did.
Also discovered they're good with some Thousand Island. But
both mayonnaise sauce-based, mayonnaise-based sauces.
We will have to do a review of your dog sauce. We've talked about that several times. It's quite good.
Yeah.
That is actually a recipe that I'm sure listeners would be thrilled to have.
That's an easy one, too. I actually know that one off the top of my head.
Don't tell it. Save it for later.
All right.
We'll do it. We'll do that on its own. We'll leave people... You gotta follow, like, and subscribe to get that custom-y recipe. That'll be bonus content. So
sounds good.
All right. Well, I think that's going to pretty much wrap it up here for us this week. As always, really appreciate you guys listening. We're having a lot of fun here. Tori, do you want to kind of give us a little bit of a send-off this week?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Tonight we had some onion rings and chicken nuggets with the Burger King's finest offering. So as we go to bed tonight or go to work tomorrow or whatever the case may be, I want you to remember to be the king or the queen that we know you are and that you know you are. So just go ahead and do that and be great. And thanks for listening, as always. And that'll do it for me. How about our friend Eric?
Everyone have a great week. And I think have some fun in the kitchen and try some new sauces, and life is good.
Very good. We'll catch you next week. Thanks for listening. Eric, what did you have? A little teaser for the listeners. What did you have something over there you wanted to try with the sauce-wise? Give a little teaser for the listeners.
So we have some sauces from the largest retailer, I venture to say, in the world. And
tease it, not a dissertation.
They make a sauce, and I'm not sure if they make the sauce or they just distribute it. I want to say that actually it might be an Amazon original, Yellowbird sauces.
Wow, very good. So, all right, thanks, okay. E, and we'll catch you next week.
I'm going to get roasted on that one.
Uh-oh, that music can only mean one thing. Sadly, we're at the end of the show. We appreciate you listening. Why don't you send us an email on saucespoken@gmail.com. We would absolutely love to hear from you. If you're on Twitter, why don't you stop in and see us? We're at Sauce Spoken. That is at Sauce Spoken on Twitter. And finally, we like to take some goofy pictures. We throw them on Instagram. Hopefully you like them as much as we do. That is going to be Sauce Spoken Official on Instagram. And we really appreciate your time having us in your home today. Share us with your family and friends. Give us a review or a rating if that's possible for you to do. We really appreciate your time. This is Sauce Spoken. Thank you for listening.